Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to build a pre-release deck. I am currently at my local game store participating in the Temporal Forces pre-release. And to start things off, we'll open up the 40 card deck that they provided. The 40 card deck is already ready to go, but that's what the extra packs are for, to upgrade if we want to. This so far so good. Got the new Buddy Buddy Poffin. I'm really excited to get my hands on one of those. It's one of my hyped cards for the set, so I'm pretty happy about that. Looks like we're getting a lot of these future type of cards, so I'm just gonna kind of lay all of these out just to see what I can work with for this entire deck. See what we got going for us. Looks like I got a whole evolution line with the Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr, so that's pretty cool. The Feraligatrs are pretty powerful stage 2 Pokemon, and I have a bunch of big basics. So with that, we lay out our whole deck here, lay out our trainer cards, lay out our evolution line, just see what we got going on here. This looks like we got 3 Totodiles, 2 Croconaws, and 2 Feraligatrs. And the one Relicanth that kind of goes with the Feraligatr has a really cool ability that lets the Pokemon use attacks from his previous evolutions. So now that we got everything laid out, it's time to open up our packs and see what we can get to add to our deck. I just kind of struggle opening these packs a little bit. I end up having to pull these off and cut them. So first pack. We got a future card, 2 future cards. We got a future booster capsule and an Iron Hands and a Farigiraf EX. Not too excited about the Farigiraf EX unless we maybe get a Girafarig in one of our packs. Pulling an EX card in pre-release format is typically pretty powerful because a lot of your opponents aren't going to be able to deal with an EX card. So getting one of those, you're pretty advantaged, but it's the Farigiraf EX is going to be a little tough to power up with what we have going on. Here I'm still struggling opening the packs. We got pack 2. Let's see if there's anything good in here we can add to our deck. Oh, some purple and a reboot pod. This is a new Ace Spec card from the set. Ace Specs are back in the Pokemon TCG. The Ace Specs are still 1 per deck, even though it's pre-release, but I'm actually pretty stoked on this one for it being a pre-release, and I have an entire future deck. We're on pack 3. And we got a skateboard. That's a pretty strong card. And a hand trimmer. And another Miraidon. And another Croconaw. And, Koraidon. So we'll put the Croconaw with the rest of our Totodile and Croconaw and Feraligatr stuff over there. The cool thing about pre-release is I get to use all 5 of those Miraidons. In pre-release, you're not limited to the 4 per deck rule like you would in the standard format. In pre-release, you're allowed to pull, you can use as many cards that you pull out of your deck, except for the Ace Specs, of course. And in this pack, we got 2 more future cards, so our future core is starting to shape up pretty well. And then we'll just flick through our cards one more time to see if there's anything we missed, or if there's anything that has a pretty cheap attack that doesn't really have many requirements. Farigiraf didn't even pull a Girafarig, but with this reboot pod, has a effect that says attach a energy from your discard pile to each of your future Pokemon. And that's an item card too. It's pretty powerful. So now we're going to take all of our Pokemon. We got the Iron Thorns with the Destructo press attack. It does 70 times for each future card you discard from the top of your deck. You're discarding 5 cards though, but with this many future cards, it could do a lot of damage. So here we got the 5 Miraidons, as I was saying. We get to play all 5 of these which is the Miraidon's a pretty solid attacker in this. So we get the hands, the Iron Valiant. So we have a pretty strong future core. Here I'm just counting all of the future cards I have for my deck, which the 3 future booster capsules was pretty handy. And here I'm kind of counting my cards, kind of pointing, trying to visually get an idea of how many cards I have going on here. In pre-release, you're only allowed 40 cards, even with the packs you get, so you still have to cut some cards and make some changes. And here I'm debating on whether or not I just want to cut the entire Totodile line and just add more of these future cards that I pulled. So we're definitely keeping the Miriam, the Youngster, the Energy, and the Skateboard. But then we're stuck with the 2 Buddy Puffins and the Jacques. And the Buddy Puffins really don't do too much in this deck. So now we're going to add some energies to the deck. I think we're just going to cut the waters. Just go full future deck. The Feraligatr is pretty strong, but it's also stage 2, and it's a little hard to set up whenever I have all of this going on as well. And here we're just going to double check counting our cards to see how many cards we need to add or remove. Yeah, and then I think we're just going to scrap the Feraligatr line. It's not worth playing at this point. So we'll just put these aside for now. We'll get back to these later. So here I'm adding a couple energies to my deck just to make sure all of my things can attack. The Miraidon has an attack called Accelerating Pulse that does 40 damage, and you search your deck for 2 energy cards and attach them to your future Pokemon in any way that you like. I'm also adding the Metal Energy in there so that way my Iron Treads can attack. One of the things about the pre-release format is you kind of want to have all of your Pokemon available to attack. So we're going to put 1 or 2 of those in there just to make sure if that thing ever needs to attack, we definitely can. Here I'm looking through my cards again just to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I'm missing 1 or 2 cards from my deck at this point. I'm eyeing up this Fluttermane just because the ability is good. It doesn't really synergize with my deck very well, but it is a very powerful basic Pokemon. And here we're just adding even more energies to my deck. The pre-release format doesn't really give you very many drawing supporters, so here we're just going to add some more energies because with this many Miraidons, if we start the Miraidon and an energy in the hand, we're off to the races on getting our board set up. We don't even need the draw cards if we're just putting this many energies in play. So here I opt to just put a couple more energies in deck. And I needed 1 more slot, so I just threw this hand trimmer in there instead of another card. It was the only playable card I had left in my pile of junk that I pulled. We're just double checking all the cards. The Lickitung might have had a cool attack, but decided it was not worth it. So we'll put all the rest of those aside, and then we're going to start building our deck. I do recommend that you bring a pack of sleeves to your pre-release event, especially if you pull anything really cool, but you still want to play it in your deck. Like if you pull a secret rare of a really cool card that works really well in your deck, just try to keep that safe and protected. Bring a pack of 40 sleeves and bring a couple extras just in case you break one. Now that I've finished building my deck, I get to play in this pre-release tournament. We're going to be playing a series of matches against the other participants in the pre-release. Usually we're going to play about 3 rounds of Swiss, and you'll be paired into another opponent that's got the similar win-loss record as you every round. These pre-release events are meant to be enjoyable and casual. There's no need to worry about too much about having the perfect deck. Just try to focus on having fun and experiencing the new cards with everybody else. And with that, that concludes my deck building. And I hope you guys kind of have an idea on what to look for and how to try to build yourself a playable pre-release deck going forward. The sets are going to change as time goes on, but consider this a solid baseline on how things are going to work. I hope you guys have fun at your Temporal Forces pre-releases, and we'll catch you next time.